Rafael Oliveira was left still alive inside a ruined house. His crying echoed softly among the broken walls. It was the middle of the night, and no one passed by there. Whoever left him did not look back. The intention was simple and cruel: let time finish the job and go on as if nothing had happened. The house was far from the city. After the last road used, there was only brush and dirt. No light reached the place at night. The roof had open holes. The wind crossed everything without resistance. The cold went straight to the ground where Raphael lay. The cloth covering him was far too thin. The small body trembled weakly. The breathing was shallow. The crying no longer came out as before. Insects moved through the cracks. The smell of mold and abandonment burned the nose. That place was not meant for people, much less for a newborn. Any movement there could be the last. A piece of the roof could fall. An animal could appear. Nothing protected Raphael from anything. Hours passed without anyone appearing. The night dragged on slowly. The cold took over the small body. Hunger weakened the crying. Silence was beginning to win. No one expected to find life there. When the sky began to lighten, everything got worse. The wind grew stronger. The ground even colder. The house creaked with every gust. Raphael barely moved anymore. The injustice of that moment was absolute. The abandonment was not an accident. Someone chose that place. Chose the emptiest hour. Planned for there to be no witnesses. Raphael was treated like a thing. Like something of no value at all, even though he had just arrived in the world. But something that was not part of the plan was about to happen. The day moved forward without haste. Light entered through the holes in the roof. It illuminated the dust suspended in the air. It revealed the true state of the house. Rotten wood, scattered debris, old dirt. Nothing there suggested care, much less safety. Raphael barely reacted to the light. His eyes hardly opened. His body was stiff from the cold. His breathing remained weak. Each pause between breaths seemed longer. Time had been cruel. And it continued to be. Outside, the place remained isolated. No constant sound of the city. No distant conversations. Only wind, insects, and silence. Anyone passing by the road would not see the house. And even if they did, they would never imagine what was inside. The cloth no longer provided warmth. It served only as weight on the small body. Hunger made the crying disappear completely. Now only a faint whimper remained. Almost a reflex. Almost nothing. But still life. The danger grew with every minute. An animal could enter. Part of the house could collapse. The cold still ruled the ground. Nothing there favored survival. Everything pointed to the same end. Silent. The injustice of that abandonment was complete. Raphael had no choice. No chance. He was placed there like discarded waste. Without a name. Without a story. Without someone waiting. Time kept passing without witnesses. The sun rose slowly. The house remained hidden. Raphael barely moved anymore. His breathing was so faint. It could be mistaken for the wind. Almost invisible. Then something different happened. A sound that did not belong to that place. Footsteps on dry ground. Irregular. Close. Not constant. But real. Someone had come near the house. Not searching for anything. Just by chance. Something caught attention in the middle of nowhere. Maybe the condition of the building. Maybe a strange noise. Maybe fate. The footsteps stopped near the entrance. The silence changed its weight. The house seemed smaller. Raphael was still breathing. Barely. And everything depended on what would happen in the next few moments. Whoever approached did not expect to find anything. The house had always been empty. It served only as an improvised shelter for the wind. But something sounded wrong inside. It was not a common noise. It was not an animal. It was too faint to ignore. The person entered slowly. Their eyes took a few seconds to adjust to the light. The smell of mold was strong. Dust clung to the throat. Then the sound became clear. A nearly extinguished whimper, coming from the ground. As they got closer, The shock was immediate. A baby. Dirty. Shivering. Almost motionless. Raphael was still breathing. Barely. Panic took over. There was no hesitation. Raphael was wrapped carefully. The cloth was adjusted better. Arms trembled while holding him. It was not fear. It was urgency. Time had run out. The walk to the road felt far too long. Every step was measured. The small body did not react. Breathing remained weak. The fear of arriving too late was constant. But stopping was not an option. It never was. Help came quickly. An ambulance was called. The silence inside the vehicle was heavy. No one knew if he would survive. Seconds passed slowly. Every breath was watched. Every sign mattered. At the hospital, everything happened fast. Doctors rushed. Doors closed. Machines began to beep. The body struggled to respond. Cold, hunger, and time demanded their toll. But Raphael was still fighting. The first hours were decisive. The limit had been reached. Any delay would have been fatal. Even so, he endured. Not by miracle, but by strength. Something no one could explain. The days that followed brought slow change. Breathing became more stable. The body responded to care. The crying returned, still weak, but present. Each small improvement was celebrated. Raphael was no longer alone. And that changed everything. When he was discharged, there was no family waiting. No name being called outside. But there was destiny. A shelter. Attentive people. Arms that would not let him go so easily. For the first time, there was continuity. Time passed. Raphael grew, carrying invisible scars. He did not remember the ruined house. But his body remembered the abandonment. Even so, he moved forward. He learned. He built. Years later, now an adult, Raphael returned to the place where it all began. The house was still there. More collapsed. More empty. But he was no longer the same. The place no longer defined him. Now it was just the past. Raphael turned his own story into purpose. He began helping forgotten children. He knew how to recognize the look, the silence, the disguised fear. He had been there before. And he had survived. Abandonment almost won. But it failed. The place chosen to end everything ended up being only the beginning. Raphael did not win despite what happened. He won because of it. And that made all the difference.